Wire wheels, they look perfect on most classic cars, but as beautiful as they are, if they're not attached to your car properly, then they can be a very serious cause for concern. In this video, I discovered something about my wire wheel adapters that I thought I wouldn't find, and if I had ignored it, then it would have most likely led to a wheel off scenario and a road traffic accident. So here we have the finished machined hub adapter and the correct wheel nuts. Fit nicely in there. This is the 60-degree included angle wheel nut. It's obviously not the one I'm going to use, but you can see the difference between that one and that one. That's got a full location, full surface location, and this has got the point location. Okay, let's start back 30 plus years ago. I'd just finished restoring the chassis on the car, and the next biggest outlay was going to be my wire wheels. So did a bit of research, got in touch with a company called Motor Wheel Services, and they supplied me with a set of 5 TR4 60 spoke wire wheels with hub adapters, so 4 splined hub adapters and 4 chrome spinners. I also opted for the special wheel nuts, and I think I must have opted for the studs as well at the time, because the studs on the car are the right length. Here you can see a view of the rear hub, and as you can see the wheel nuts sit flush, i.e. the studs aren't sticking out beyond the nuts. And there's the picture of the front hub, where you can see the spinner on the end of the adapter. It was only when I started to strip the car down that I noticed the wheel nuts, or the hub adapter nuts, the special nuts, weren't sitting correctly in the countersink on the hub adapters. There's basically 2 ways to mount a center lock wire wheel on your car. If the car has been made originally with center lock wire wheel option, then they most likely have splined, the splines that locate the wheels, center lock splines, are part of the actual hub itself and contain the wheel bearings within that. On this car and on many other cars that didn't have wire wheels as standard, they had wire wheel adapters, which is what these are. And they locate on a central spigot on the hub there, so that they're held radially, and they are then bolted in place by the 4 road wheel nuts. I'm afraid I've got to stop you there, because I was wrong. I was wrong to say that. The more modern wheels are located on that central spigot, that large diameter spigot, but these wire wheel hub adapters are held in position by the cones on the nuts that hold the adapters to the hub. So those 4 nuts are the ones with the cones on, and they centralise the hub on the wheel as they would your road wheel on your car. This was how they used to be years ago. More modern cars use the central spigot to locate the wheels onto the hub, and then are just bolted on with the wheel nuts. So now we understand the basics of how a wire wheel can attach to a car. Let's get into the specific problem that I have with my adapters. The black line indicates the countersink in the hub adapter, which is 120 degrees included angle. The red lines indicate the 90 degree included angle chamfer on the hub adapter nuts. And the blue circle indicates the contact point between the hub nut and the hub adapter. And you can see from this sketch here that it's a single point of contact, whereas it should be a full surface contact, i.e. the chamfer on the wheel nut should be in full contact with the countersink in the holes on the hub adapter. So after some deliberation, I decided to get in touch with Motor Wheel Services. They were very helpful, but as it was over 35 years ago, obviously nothing was going to happen under warranty. We did conclude, and you can see from this drawing that they sent me, that the problem was with the hub adapters not having the countersink machined correctly. So the options were to either buy a new set of hub adapters or to get them machined. So I've got a very good mate, Steve, who has got a milling machine, and he offered to machine them for me. So we managed to source the correct cutter from a place in Germany with the right included angle, 90-degree included angle to machine the hub adapters, and that's what he did for me. And here you can see the adapter sitting nice and squarely on the spigot that Steve just made. The idea was to position the adapter onto the spigot, ensure it was not sitting nicely, then to locate the first hole position using the cutter to pick up off the existing countersunk hole. Once we were happy with how this felt centrally, you move it so it feels central on the hole, then nip it up and just bring the cutter down just to kiss the material at the bottom of the countersink, just to take off a small bit of material and see if it was central before we continued. After they'd all been machined, I gave them a good degreasing to get rid of all the swarf, followed by a hot soapy wash, a hot rinse, and then hung them in the oven for about half an hour to dry off. Next, I popped them into the blasting cabinet to bead blast them to remove a little bit of surface corrosion. There was a few patches and it just tidied them up. Then I gave them a good blow off with the airline to remove all of the fine dust. Then gave them a spray of GT85, wrapped them in bubble wrap, and packed them away. And here we have the 4 finished hub adapters, fully machined and in a safe condition. So here we have the finished machined hub adapter and the correct wheel nuts. Fit nicely in there. This is the 60-degree included angle wheel nut. It's obviously not the one I'm going to use, but you can see the difference between that one and that one. That's got a full location, full surface location, and this has got the point location. So you can see the importance of having the correct conical nuts in the correct chamfer, so I urge you to check yours, please. I did a bit of research and found on Wikipedia some information about different angles on wheel nuts. If you want to delve into that, I'll attach a link below. Also, Motor Wheel Services, brilliant company, been in business for 95 years, so if you've got any needs for around wire wheels, then I urge you to get in touch with them. I will attach a link below. And here's a couple of extra bits, again, from their website. It's so full of a lot of really useful information. This one is about the position of your wheels on the car and the importance of getting those right because of left and right hand threads. This one is about an additional way to lock the special wheel nuts onto the lug nuts onto the studs. You can lock them with a centre punch in 4 places, or use thread lock. If you're using thread lock, then make sure that you clean the threads really well. A good degreaser. Give them a good clean with acetone, and then use plenty of thread lock. So that was my wire wheel hub adapter problem sorted out. Or so I thought. Yes, unfortunately, there was a second problem which hadn't manifested itself at the time, but it has now. So that's for a future video. So tune into the channel, please subscribe, and you won't miss it.